top college stars from Stanford and Yale playing against the Harlem Globetrotters, there was a real glow around the capability of African Americans in the Harlem Globetrotters.
Unlike a lot of the Globetrotter games, those were really highly competitive games. They didn't fool around a lot.
Abe was a great guy. He had one passion: he could not lose. If we won, we were outcasts.
At these games, there was no clowning around at all on the part of the Trotters. And, you know, this is, you're taking college All-Americans, there was an opportunity to beat the Trotters, so we were deadly serious. Ray Meyer and Claire B. were the coaches, and so there wasn't any hanky-panky going on here. They were tested, and they met the challenge, and they won most, if not all, of those series.
The World Series lasts a week and a half. The Olympics last 2 weeks. The NFL championship is over in an afternoon. But the Globetrotters are on the sports pages for 3 straight weeks, playing the best college players in the country. So it became the biggest, clearly the biggest basketball event in the country.
In 1951, during the second World Series of basketball, the Globetrotters set another attendance record, this time outdoors, at the Rose Bowl, with almost 32,000 fans.
We played in the first outdoor basketball game. Nobody knew that the dew goes through the floor unless you have that black paper under there. Well, the referee, you know, and when he walked out to throw up the ball, he went like this and he fell right on his fan. He went right down. And we made a pact that night. We told our players and Globetrotters that we'd go along with the show. We faked everything and slid around the floor. I'll tell you this, they knew how to put on a show.
In the summer of 1951, the Globetrotters made their first trip to South America and their second tour through Europe.
The Eiffel Tower, and for once the tall Trotters are dwarfed in size.
It was all an outgrowth of the College All-Star Tour. I think what happened is they developed this template for how you produce a transcontinental tour, and I think they said if we can do it across America, why not the whole world?
This bus was brought over by boat and often served as home on the European travels.
When we played down in the South, there were times when there were some racial slurs, people yelling out things to us. And then when we got over to Europe, it was just the opposite. You know, people loved us over there.
Some of this has to do with the fact that not that Europeans were less racist than Americans, but there weren't any blacks to speak of in Europe. So the Globetrotters were a novelty. They weren't a threat the way some people saw African Americans in this country.
Here come the Trotters for the first game on English soil.
And for the most part, and this is my own experience again, I found that many foreigners didn't think of us so much as black folks or Negroes or African Americans. We were Americans.
This is Frank Washington getting the lowdown.
The touch of freedom that had not been experienced.
We played all over during the Cold War in these countries that nobody was welcome, no American. And when we would finish, it was a standing ovation. They'd follow us around. We were loved in Europe.
They played over somewhere in South America, and there was a war going on. And the Globetrotters came in town. The war actually stopped, let us play the game, and then after we left, then they continued the war.
Next up, Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Now, this is the American Embassy. Said, we have come to tell you guys that we don't advise that you go to Buenos Aires because America is on bad relations with the Buenos Aires government.
President Perón, very thrilled at having the American delegation there, sits down and we all join in a little chat through an interpreter, of course.
Now, what we were told is that you have no problems here unless you call Evita by her name. The only thing you're supposed to call her is the lady. That's what she's known as.
Here's Luna Park, Buenos Aires. This is called the Madison Square Garden in South America. Globetrotters gets the tip to Pop Gates. He throws to Irma Robinson. and the Globetrotters are underway.
They were sitting right down front, and they loved it. They